Well, she won one of the world's most prestigious prizes for her debut book, Stasiland, about the secret police of the former East Germany.
Now Anna Funder is about to release a new work of fiction titled All That I Am. And Anna Funder joins us now in the studio. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Good to meet you. Now, this story is based on real people and real happenings. How did you get involved in the telling of it?
Well, I knew a Melbourne woman called Ruth Blatt who had been a member of this tiny left-wing party that fought Hitler before Hitler came to power. When he came to power, she had to go to London. So my story is also, in a sense, a refugee story. It's these very early refugees from Hitler in London, and it's about how they tried to keep telling the world what was happening from London.
And it also tells the story in graphic detail about how they gradually saw their rights, their freedoms stripped away by the Nazi regime.
Yes, absolutely. So they were fleeing the regime they were speaking out against, but they weren't safe when they were in London. And I was astonished to learn that there were Nazi operatives in London from the very beginning, from 1933, and they were gunning for the people who were still speaking out against the regime.
So you've taken Ruth's stories and spun some fiction around it. How much is fact and how much is fiction?
Oh, that's such a good question. I think everybody's going to ask me that. There's a story of one of these refugees who just couldn't manage anymore. It was worse than a temporary protection visa, the situation that he was in. And he turned up one day at the embassy in London, said to the Gestapo there, I can give you all of these people. That's true. And the story of my heroine being found dead in the locked room of a flat in Bloomsbury is true. And I've then linked them. So all the people have real analogues in life, but I've made up every love scene and every breath and every, heartbeat, really.
Sorry, Michael.
I was going to say, did it surprise you to the full extent that the Gestapo was operating in London before the war? Because that would strike a lot of people as amazing.
I know, and I've been on a pre-publicity tour in Britain, and the Brits are astonished and really horrified.
Embarrassed, probably, as well.
Yes, I was really surprised, and I think that love and surprise and curiosity, even if it shows how ignorant you are, is a great motivator to write a book. You think, God, I have to get this down, no one knows.
This is your first novel?
Yes.
Were you tempted to sort of play a straighter bat and write a more factual account?
No, I would have loved to have written a first novel with Stasiland, but I started to, and then there was no way of writing a credibly believable world about East Germany, because that was a place where the secret police would break into your flat, steal your underpants to get a sample of your bodily odour. So I just thought, no one will believe a novel if I put all these details in. This has to be non-fiction. But this one is really about the characters. So we sort of know the story, not this actual story, but we know what happens next, with the war and everything. This is pre-war. So this is about what does it feel like to be in love with the wrong guy? What does it feel like to be a refugee? What does it feel like to be so brave, like Malalai Joya or like Anna Politkovskaya or like Litvinenko, and speak out in circumstances where they're coming for you.
And indeed, there are lots of modern-day parallels. Groups of people standing up against oppressive regimes. Just look at Libya, for instance.
Exactly, exactly. I think that's very much on my mind. I mean, we learn things and politics develops and technology develops, but really a lot of things stay the same. So a dictatorial regime will want more power into itself, and it'll always have a nasty secret police, and these things repeat themselves. I hope my books are not repeating themselves, but the situations repeat themselves.
But this story has been so well received right across the world. Are you astonished at its early success?
Well, it's very early. It's only out on Monday. But yes, it's coming out in 16 countries, and I'm really just thrilled about that. I couldn't be more thrilled.
Well, all the very best, Anna Funder. It's lovely to meet you. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.